Hello everyone, I'm Peter. Nice to meet you. Yes, I think we're all good. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, this is something I'm really passionate about. This is the first time I'm speaking on the subject, so it's going to be great to hear your feedback on it. And there are challenges with this. The first is I love to speak. So 7 minutes for me is insane. I don't actually really know how it's going to work, but I'm going to give it my best shot. The second one is I'm in insurance industry, and we're talking about kindness. So I'm just going to put it out there. If you thought we didn't get that there is a bit of a cynicism around our ability to deliver on that, I'm with you. I get it. I've been living in that since I started at IAG, and it's something that we've been researching and thinking about and really trying to get to the core of since we came on the idea of kindness. But I'm going to actually rewind a bit. Oh, am I going to press the clicker in the right way? Oh, I did. Look at that. Amazing. Look at that. So kindness when you kind of need it. That's the AMI campaign. Oh, that's me. Look at that. Real thing here. A lot better. I kind of wanted to start with a kindness story. So there's only going to be 3 slides. I'm going to try to keep it really simple. But I wanted to tell a story about somebody being kind to me, which literally led to me staying in New Zealand. It was a very big part of it, at least. There is a 7-hour version that I'm sure I could tell you. So please bear with me, because this is going to be very short and jumpy. I'm originally from Sweden, so I'm not from New Zealand. My dad's English. I don't want to be, because look, it's hard when you're talking about cultural stuff, because it's very easy to go, oh, all Swedes are like this, but we are a little bit more insular in our ways sometimes. So when I arrived to New Zealand, and this is where the story starts, I was kind of struggling a bit, I guess, on many fronts. One was from a work perspective. I came here thinking I could just get a work visa when I arrived. That was wrong. And I didn't really, because I didn't get a job, I was financially struggling. So I had my power cut, I was about to get evicted from my apartment. It was very, very, very tough for me at that stage. My partner, who I arrived with kind of around Christmas, decided she didn't really like New Zealand as much as I did. So she decided to go home for the Christmas break only. Kind of ended up being, I'm just going to stay home. I don't really want to come back. Which was great, right? So you can imagine I was in a great mind frame at this stage. I was like, I'm loving it here. And my parents were kind of saying, look, you've got a return ticket. Why don't you just come back to Sweden? And that's clearly the easiest option. But there was something about, and I must say, there was the people that I kept meeting that kept driving me forward, because I loved everyone I talked to, everyone I met when I was talking about this. And it was random. It was taxi drivers and all kinds of people, right? They were so generous, and I really felt this. And I managed to get an interview at Telecom at the time. And I was really fretting this, because it was like, if I got this job, it meant I could stay. And it was so important to me. I was really stressing. And so my kind of story includes a big black plastic bag, which was filled with donuts, and this bus stop at Pack and Save in Mount Albert. So I was walking up to this bus stop here to take my bus in so I could go to the interview, because there was no way I could afford a taxi. And there was a gentleman sitting at the bus stop with this massive bag of donuts. And I kind of came up and sat next to him, and being Swedish, I was never going to engage and talk to him, no way. He's already got a bag of donuts, I don't know what's going on there. And he was kind of happily eating out of this bag. And I sat down, and he looked, and he just turned around and he said, "You look really worried." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Okay, well, is it because I was wearing a Chiefs kind of jersey at the time? I thought that was great for an interview to prove that I was really Kiwi." I didn't know that they played rugby, and he said, "Is it because they lost?" And I went, "Sure," because I didn't really want to engage. And he said, "Well, have a donut." And he gave me a donut out of this bag, and I wasn't really willing to eat. I said, I'm fine, I don't need a donut right now. I'm good, mate, thanks for offering. And we got on the bus, and he sat next to me, and he kept prodding, and I started telling him a little bit about what's going on in my life, and he was genuinely the most amazing person I've ever met. And he was so kind to me. He was saying, like, "You're going to get this job, don't worry about it," and he just really made me feel great about myself. And at the end, again, he went, "Do you want a donut?" And I just grabbed a donut out of the bag and started eating it. I went, "This is where I'm staying. This is the country for me, with people like this who can make me grab a donut out of a black plastic bag from someone I don't know. I had no idea. It could be laced with anything, I don't know. That's what you think if you're Swedish and somebody gives you a donut out of a big plastic bag. So for me, that kindness that he showed me was amazing. It really, really meant something to me. And it connected. And it made me think about that when I moved forward in my career. So I wanted to talk, because of this, I'm kind of going, everybody has their definition of kindness, right? Things we think are inherently true about kindness. And I wanted to share 3 things I think kindness has as components to it. It's not only this, so please don't think this is the only things I think are important. But the first one here is actually, there is no I in kindness. So there is one in team, I've learned, because it's in the A-hole. So there's definitely an I in team, and it is in the A-hole. But kindness doesn't actually have any I in it. You have to be selfless to be kind. And that's fundamentally true. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy being kind, and it doesn't mean that you can't do something good and get something back from it. But it is an act of selflessness. So to be kind generally takes a lot more. You have to have that element of it. And the second part of it is, and I don't know if you know, this is from Nelson's Fires. I thought it was absolutely amazing. And I'm not going to talk about the first responders. They are outstanding. We know this, right? I don't know if you heard this. There were 2 Indian gentlemen who drove from Christchurch to Nelson twice with food for the first responders. What did they get out of that? Kindness, providing something for someone who is doing something amazing for something else or someone else. So effort. It takes effort to be kind. And lastly, this is me saying we need more of this. This is Gordon. Gordon had his phone smashed while he was lying on a toilet floor. He smashed it and somebody stole it from him. And I think it's so easy to put Trump there and go, that's why we need kindness. I'm like, no, we need kindness in the small stuff. Forget about Trump, he's terrible. But like moments like that where something happens to somebody who's in that position is absolutely not okay. So kindness needs to happen in every moment, not just the big ones. It's easy to go, people need to vote differently and all that. No, you need to be kind to every person you meet. And I'm so out of time, it's crazy. And now I got to the insurance bits. So basically, what I wanted to talk about was, can an insurance company be kind? Like, this is something that we asked ourselves, because honestly, we were kind of going, this is not something somebody is going to just accept. Because as a consumer myself and somebody who doesn't come from financial services, am I cynical about insurance? Of course I am. Of course I'm cynical about insurance. But should insurance companies be kind? Hell yeah. Of course they should be kind. They should be. Every company technically should be kind, but insurance company probably more so. So this was something that we really wanted to put on the map with AMI, and it wasn't that much of a stretch because AMI was already in the kindness territory. We were already a brand that was seen as being there for people, so it genuinely didn't feel like a huge leap. But we did decide on 3 things, and I'm hoping, even though I'm over the time, that I can talk to real quickly. And these were 3 things that we really cared about. One was putting effort into kindness. And effort is interesting because effort, nobody explains what effort is. Everybody talks about effort, and it's like, what does effort mean? Is it time? Is it money? Is it energy? 4 things I've learned very quickly about effort is, you have to be steadfast. You have to have an aspiration with your effort. You have to come from a joy or happiness when you're applying effort. And sometimes you have to actually stand back for effort to work. So you can't always do those things. So just continuously doing the same thing isn't effort. Sometimes that can be too much. You need to step back. And as long as you're still focusing on what you're trying to achieve, effort happens. So that's effort. This is true as well. So we would rather have someone leave us for the right reasons than stay with us for the wrong ones. That is huge. That's not every company that says, look, it's fine for you to not be with us if we're not the best thing for you. And then thirdly, oh my God, I'm running over so much. It doesn't mean always saying that. This was the biggest concern with the company was, if we're saying we're being kind, what happens when we say no to a claim? And we're like, we're not saying say yes to everything. Like, kindness isn't just saying yes to people every day. But it's being empathetic when you have to say no. So if somebody's bought the wrong product and therefore we can't cover them, well, maybe we should say, hey, we'll give you 6 months free cover to be able to get the right product for whatever you're doing in the future. Or maybe there's another way we can treat you that means that we're showing empathy in your situation. Because anybody who's in an insurance situation are not thinking about a claim. They've just had an incident, something potentially really traumatic happen in their life. So we have to be empathetic. We need to show that we care, not about the claim, but about what's happened in your life that has disheveled you and made you feel like you have maybe nothing else because your home burned down or you lost your car. So those were important components that we figured out doing, and I'm so over time. But thank you so much for listening to me.